Hi guys, how are you? Hi, we're gonna walk?
Yes.
Are we ready? Katie, are you ready? It is down to a very nice project that I bet none of you have even seen happening behind the scenes.
No.
Two things. I wanted to introduce Carlos Caesar. If you don't know Carlos, he is your neighborhood president and hosts meetings and events and tries to do a lot of good in this neighborhood to provide activities, to keep people safe. That's Carlos Caesar right here.
We recognize that.
Carlos has been my friend for many years, and he does an incredible job, like many of our neighborhood people, but he's really led the way. And I asked him to join us tonight because there's nothing in this neighborhood that Carlos doesn't know what's going on.
I tried.
The most important thing you can do, and Mr. Jarvis was just here, because I have been helping him on an issue and he lives in this neighborhood. So today I told him, why don't you come say hello and meet Carlos, your neighborhood representative. But he lives next door to a very bad nuisance property. And he didn't know there's a real word, nuisance, and there's a legal term for nuisance. So what I say to you, what the police say to you, is you live in an area and you see crime happening, call, give the address, tell them what you think is happening, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah, we do
and
that.
they will record it. So a property then becomes a nuisance officially after 7 calls in a 2-month period of time. So the property that he's called on has now been called a nuisance. They're monitoring, they're communicating with the owners, the one he referenced to me today, and the police are on it, and they will get a $1,000 fine to stop. Not a little fine, $1,000 fine.
We heard that the house got sold to someone new, and 2 days ago they served them all with eviction notices. But like I told you before, it's all women and kids, and I don't think...
Well, they'll get placed in another house because women and kids don't get thrown on the streets in Fall River. I'll tell you that. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Carlos, let's go walk. Let's keep walk. Walk at your pace. That's what we're going to do. We're going to walk at your pace. So you all know Peter, my legislative aide, and Donna and Brent, friends have come. That's nice.
It's just his house.
You know what? Let's take note of this. This is a property that Carlos and I should come and give him an award. Because this is... Let's take a picture of this.
You should see the backyard.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, he's got a grapevine and a big garden.
Oh, yeah. You can tell it's very
I gave him some plants for his garden.
This is absolutely what I do. I love to see the properties because we need to credit these people, right, to give an incentive.
He does a great job.
Carlos is running a harvest festival, and there's going to be lots of great activities, aren't there, Carlos? Tell them.
Off the police
Oh,
department.
I've been very involved in what he's doing, yeah?
Careful,
So here's an example of what I blanked out. I want to just show you something as we walk, real quick. And I don't want to... I've got the contractor who's working on this project meeting us to show us how wonderful it is, what's going on. Harding, the contractor. But last week I drove up Oak Grove Avenue, and just to show how much we can all do. I drove up Locust Street, and all along the Oak Grove Cemetery on Locust Street was high with weeds and the curb. And long story short, you've got to see the before and after pictures, but I just made the call to the city, and they came and they cleaned the entire gutter and the entire street. Because they're busy doing their jobs. We've got to point at Carlos, myself, you all. We've got to point out the things. Now, we can't expect, if there's some big issues going on, to stop on a dime, but 2 days later, if you drive up Locust Street, you'll be amazed at how, you won't even notice it. You'll just go, this looks good. But you would have noticed it, how horrible it looked before. And that's what this right here, this is, these weeds makes a difference on how, just look here. Look at the street, we're going to go to the crosswalk. Look at all weeds on the curb.
Look at the tree across the street on the other side.
Yeah, that looks beautiful. See, because that's somebody doing it. So maybe what we can do is one day get a group, and let me tell you, Carlos's group has been doing street by street by street. This is a good little side right here,
I actually walked by that the other day and thought that, I should come and plant flowers here next summer.
Well, you know what? The thing was crossing the crosswalk.
Thank you for the jacket. I loved it.
This wasn't kept. There was nothing for the children. Carlos got his team of volunteers. I came down that day.
And a small mini grant that we got from the Flanagan administration he put for contest 5 mini grants of $2,500 a piece. And we apply with this park because the floors need to be fixed and the fence was really bad. So we ended spending about $4,000 on the park with material, but everything was done by volunteers.
So the basketball hoops were put back up. They cleaned all out where the playground is. They got rid of a swing set. We asked them, move it out of there. I said, Ken, get it out of that corner. It's just a place for people to hide and move that out, paint the fence, and look at this.
And
the
now
neighbors are using it.
I walk by here all the time, and there are people using this particular
When things look
thing.
good, sometimes people can't put their finger on it. They live in an area they're used to seeing the garbage or the weeds, and they don't realize, wait a minute, I can make a difference. And oh, I like it like this. And so that's a perfect example.
And as you can see over there, the park was dedicated to Katia Sart. She was the founder of the Flint Neighborhood Association, and we call her the mother of all neighborhoods because after her, all the other neighborhoods started. So they started pretty much under Katia Sart's wings.
Where's the flat?
Right there on
Oh,
on Katia Sart's.
So like I said, my mother-in-law lived, my father-in-law, my father-in-law grew up in that house right there. This is the Flint. This is his neighborhood. This is, my husband's family. Tomorrow I am hosting a meeting on an issue that I've been very much working on for 2 years regarding housing in the city of Fall River. I'm actually hosting a meeting. It's not a public meeting, but I've got the police chief, I've got the superintendent of schools, I've got the building inspectors, I've got the housing authority director, I've got the housing authority board members, I've got building inspectors, I've got 26 people, including the undersecretary of housing and development in Massachusetts, coming down to identify the things we need to work on, from what's happening with some of these properties, to ordinances, to the amount of extremely low-income housing we have in the city and how that affects us. So there's a lot of issues to do with housing in the city, and we want to understand what they are so we can then, as a community, have an approach and a policy. And so that's happening tomorrow. I'm hosting them. So there's a lot going on.
We should have
had a gentleman came for support of a crosswalk because his mother crosses to dollar store a lot of times, and they came to us for help for a crosswalk
over there by
over
the Dollar
there.
Tree?
Yes, so what we did, we sent a support letter to the process of a crosswalk, and they did the crosswalk. I mean, I have to say that it was 2 weeks that the crosswalk was put there. So
you've seen the curtain lofts over there, those beautiful, that mill building over there. It's right next door there. It's beautiful inside. It sold out immediately, okay, for rental. This now has just been approved to be 62 plus living here.
More apartments?
More apartments. The only apartments that I will support in the city of Fall River are for elderly, seniors, veterans, we don't need more family right now. We need more family in the state. It's just that Fall River doesn't need to be the only place providing assistance to families. It should be everybody else helping too. Because then we get out of balance as a community. We get out of balance. But for senior housing, I will support all the time. So it's going to be renovated. You're going to see all of this transformed. There will be, where's Carlos? There will be a senior center in there open to the community. So you will have a senior center in there that you will be able to come to, that you are going to feel.
What happened with this, I got contacted probably 2 years ago with the developer and the lawyer representing the developer here. At that time was Linda Pereira. She was the president of the city council, and she invited me to this meeting because they kind of need my support as a community leader, the neighborhood leader, and was open. Was no age into the at that time was no age into the conversations and anything like that. and approaching the neighborhoods, they were not feeling comfortable. Just it's a good project, be renovated, but if it's going to be occupied by young people,
It wouldn't have gone through the state.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have gone through the
So I pretty much told them that I was being support if we could at least for 55 and older, because this way we will match the soft, what is pretty much you can walk from one building to another. So what happened was when they came to pull up their license with the city, they came with the presentation was for 62 and older, which
We're very happy about
that
that.
we were very happy about.
Owns that building.
But it used to be owned by the Wrightses family, who owned Fall River Knitting Mills, where all your sweaters were made. And now it's a corporation, a number of investors and a developer that owns it. And we work very closely to support this in the state.
That's two
and
different buildings, are they together?
That's one building. That's one building.
This is one.
It's one building.
Look
That's
like
one,
the-
yeah, that's one building.
It's like a T.
So this is going to transform. Watch your step here on this fence. Now let's show you what's happening. In addition to this, you're going to have people living here, seniors here, but you're going to see another project
It's gonna be
here for
nice.
families. So now,
We're going this way?
yeah, this is the Father Travassos Park.
Never been there. First
Well, let's go.
First time here.
Yeah, well, actually, like it's on this morning.
I didn't either.
I had no.
Gosh, that vision.
So here's going to be the complete renovation of this building here.
So this is going to be apartments?
And it would not have, this is all going to be senior apartments. Beautiful. Taking the curtain lofts that is done next door, this will be senior apartments here. 62 plus. Right in the corner here, you'll see the beginning of the trail, the bike path, the trail. And it's going to go about, almost 2 miles in length, and it's going to begin over at Stop and Shop on Rodman Street. We were there this morning where the mayor wanted to acknowledge Al Lima, and because it's called the Al Lima, a citizen of Fall River who had this vision of this along the Quequechan River and revitalizing its role in this community. So you are going to be able to, you are living in an up and coming neighborhood. Believe that.
That's good.
You're going to walk here. It was a short walk. You're all healthy enough to make these short walks, right? Walk this path. Look at our beautiful river. People driving by Fall River are going to look at that river and see people moving. Eventually, some little boats or something out there, some recreational activity. And this makes us a community that not just a drug dealer or somebody else wants to be in, but people, professionals, young professionals, empty nesters like yourself.
We have incredible bird and insect life because of that river. Even at
Exactly.
Bishop Eid, I'll show you the
You
picture.
know when they're going to start doing
Soon. I mean, Dave Cavaco is the head of this project for Harding Construction. He was nice enough to undo the gates and come in, and I was with him today, and the pride that imagine, he works for a company that's based outside of Fall River. He lives in Fall River, and he's so excited about this project. Do you want to address the group and tell them a little bit about it, Dave?
This is a project that we actually bid on last year. We were awarded it through the city and the state. We started it here in April. We left the job in Wareham, came down here and started right away. Our goal was to have it open to you this year. Unfortunately, we had some setbacks in springtime. But as you can see, we put in a deck hockey
Let's
rink.
walk down as we do this.
is this?
This is called deck hockey.
Deck hockey.
Wait till
It'll
you
keep the
see.
kids out of the streets.
Can I ask
And
you
they'll-
something? Could roller derby use this?
You're on roller.
No, it's not sloped.
Roller skates
Well, like
instead
that.
of ice skates.
My friends have a roller derby team in Taunton and they have no
I'm a
break.
hockey mom. I never heard of
The
it.
PAL, the Police Athletic League in Fall River, has a very vibrant deck hockey league, and they compete all over the state and in
Yes.
all over New England. And so this
That's awesome.
is a piece that will be very well utilized.
Oh, man,
Take a look at it.
nice.
The only other ones are in Dartmouth, which is SMU, and they have to pay to use it, and one in Providence. So now they don't have to travel, they can actually come down here
Look
and
at
use this
the
one.
flooring on this. It's like, Dave told me it's like ice. It's like they're on ice when they're on their blades.
Wow.
And that's one of those rubberized. Yeah. I have so many different kinds. And that's all because of this.
We're gonna come down here and wait till you see for the children what they have.
That is pretty much maintenance free then?
It is.
Yeah. Now the
just-
decking is what, like a rubberized plastic?
No, it's actually a plastic. It expands, contracts with the temperatures.
Uh-huh.
The water drains through and actually goes up. The manufacturer of this company gave me so many spare parts and extra for the city. Donated. Along with the fencing, even flooring. So the city will be well taken care of for a long time.
Something very interesting to note, again, it's not about, it's their job, it's our job, okay? Everything is our job together. The building, we're gonna walk straight ahead. Diamond is renovating that building. There'll be bathrooms in there.
Is
You
this
know?
the pictures that were on your
My
website?
today I
Oh
put
my
them up.
God.
I was on one of the
Well,
rides. You'll see them. Come on.
I saw them, I think, on your page a week ago.
You know what? This summer, you get hot, you'll be down here.
Oh,
The
yeah.
seniors will be pushing away the kids.
I'll push them.
This is all designed. This section down here is 2 to 5 year olds. So the light gray is 5 to 12 year olds. The way this padding is designed, it's got cushioning, so if kids fall, they won't get hurt.
Yeah, wait till you step
all
on it.
fall
You're gonna
safe.
really get steady at first.
Sorry.
It's cushy. It is? It's nice.
This thing spins around when they sit in it. I did that already today. So you go like this, look. For the kids.
Big baby. Look at Carol.
Now I'm dizzy. Wait a minute.
Put that on Facebook.
So, how fun is this?
nice.
huh?
This is
So if I could have just a couple minutes of your attention. 4 years ago. And Ken Pacheco turned to me and said, if one day this city would be able to see a water park, this is the perfect location because of the excess of water we have on this park, better than any other park in this city, because we have the water pumps in here on this location. And I called Al Lima and I called Ken Pacheco, and a group of 5 people came here, and we start just throwing ideas on the hat. What can we do here? And when I came with the water park, I said I want a water park since it's so good location for water park. But we had the basketball courts sitting all the way on the back, the playground all the way on the corner, and we say, you know, this is dangerous for today's kids to play here. So can we put a project together just to move everything up closer to the park so people could actually be watching the kids playing inside their cars? And so Al Lima put a project together and we sent it to the state. And we were lucky, about a year after, we got a call from the state saying, and Al Lima was very smart. He thought something that I didn't catch on the plan. He put a bike path going all the way behind the park, which something that didn't even catch our eye, but because he's been involved with the bike path, he just threw it on the design, the bike path. And believe it or not, that's where the money came from. The state had, I believe, about $11 million to spend in a bike path. Out of that $11 million, he said, the state said, we don't have money for the park, but we're gonna just take a little bit of money from the bike path because this is gonna improve so much that neighborhood, and that's what we're gonna get. So from that 11 million, we got $2.8 million for this, included with the bike path. The total, this park total is gonna cost 4.2. 2.4 for the park, an additional 2 something for the bike path. which is going to cross all the way on the back. After we had all the projects done and approved by the states, and sure, with the support of our delegation there, that really see the potential this park here in this neighborhood, I got approached by a couple moms that have their kids playing deck hockey. And they said, we have 2 deck hockey teams on the city, and we don't have a place for our kids to play. We have always to go out. So what we did was, after everything was approved, we sent another letter to the states and saying, and we pretty much said on the letter was, we have 5 basketball courts on our neighborhood. Will make a difference if we switch from the basketball courts to a deck hockey. And unbelievable, took 2 weeks for us to get the letter back saying you wish is coming true. So that's why we have a deck hockey instead of a basketball court. But I have to say this project is going to improve so much this neighborhood, and where we came up with in the water park, another thing was like, how are we gonna maintain this park? So came the idea, now we're gonna have the pads, the floor would bring the water
Dave was very good at explaining that specifically today.
So all that played a big role on this project, because we know we don't have manpower to be here when the park is open, to be taking care of this. So all this had to play into this project, and I have to thank him because he did a beautiful job on this park.
Tell us a little bit about the splash park, then I'm going to come back to Carlos for a minute.
Go ahead.
Because he's amazing.
Now all these pebbles that you see are actually rubber. Gentlemen's come down, they could do this all over the world. They actually mix it in the back of a truck and they put it down. Everything's draining into these 2 drains. And the way this is designed is, the child comes in here, or the parents, over there's a pole, he hits it, he hears a buzz or a beeping.
Listen to this because it's so cool.
Inside that cabinet is a computer. This goes through 10 different patterns. So each time the child hits that, it'll shoot up out of the ground in different areas. So they can't get used to where it's going to shoot up when they hit it and go stand on it. Each one of these poles spray out. It is
It's
to
not
a certain
quite
point.
as cushy as that. People aren't expected to fall the same way, but it's all rubber.
Yeah.
Very soft.
You know what's so nice about this? It upsets me so much that the only pool is up on Eastern Avenue. You know, the one at Kennedy Park is not
this is
used.
exactly why.
I know, and this is great because the kids this summer, I mean, you know.
The maintenance on this is very, very low. This is essentially almost like an irrigation system with sprinklers. Everything drains back out, and then they blow it out with air, and it's winterized. The computer system inside there, we have it programmed right now it'll come on at 8 o'clock in the morning and shut down at 9 o'clock at night. We can change that. And the way this system also is, we can add music to it and we can add lights.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So,
Amazing, Bishop Eid.
you know, we were always saying it's a small world. There's got a place that's a small world. But I mean, you'll see these caps. There's all the little fixtures that go in there that we take out and we actually install. So everywhere you look inside here, you might see one.
Like sprinkler heads? Is that what they
Yes,
are?
these
little
pieces,
round things?
they screw in,
Okay.
and they might shoot up 4 feet, 5 feet. That one has all nozzles on it which spray across. That one comes out in a fan. I actually have video.
Think of the little kids, Dave. Dave's going to take a lot of pride in Carlos this summer when the little kids who can't even get to Horse Neck Beach, who might not be able to go to Disney, are going to come here and be able to have what everybody else has. And you know, I want to go back to Carlos for just a minute because what's made this
Adult Swim.
what made this project possible is the fact that the vision that Carlos and Al and Ken and this community has is so important, because when we fund initiatives and we fund a project, typically they're not just for Fall River or for Attleboro or Bridgewater. They're to improve the Commonwealth. And what happens, this was under the environmental. This was put under the environmental agency. But if a community, when those funds are there, and they're ready to spend these funds and look for good projects, a community has to be ready to apply for those funds and show that it's working together. And I have to tell you, as we stand here today, this city of Fall River has those things. Don't be mistaken from a lot of negative talk about, oh, Fall River stinks or this. When I tell you that, whether it's in the environment, we're doing a brand new boardwalk down at the waterfront. We've got all the stuff you've heard about forever and ever that's happening. It's transforming. We've got an administration in Boston right now, along with us, our delegation, and the visionaries here in Fall River. We are making sure that if there's something to be had, we're going to get it for Fall River. But it only happens when we are working together. And if we don't work together, those projects go right by us because we're not prepared. And so we're continuing. We're working so hard on the next phase of projects that we want, like Route 79 North you hear about. Let me tell you two other things. You've got the Quequechan River, you've got this bike path, you've got this gorgeous thing that Harding Construction's doing. You go right over to the Watuppa Pond over there, right? You can walk right there through this bike path. In the next coming weeks, you're going to have the high school championship rowing club. Rowing.
Oh, wow.
Championships on our Watuppa Pond.
Really? That's awesome.
You're going to, and so how is that possible again? I'm going to tell you, just like Carlos was telling you this story, a woman who owns a factory in Fall River, daughter rows for her high school team. We don't have a high school rowing team here. She has one. And she comes down here every day and she sees the water and she loves rowing, and she is in the rowing world. And she met up with this Olympic rower, Boris. I won't say his last name because I won't do it justice. But together they said, so we worked with them to find a place where they could start a rowing club in Fall River. And we now have established a rowing club in Fall River. Now, you know, when you think of Fall River out there in the media, people go, rowing club, Fall River. And the first thing that's happening that's tangible is these championships. And next spring, people who are into rowing or may not know about rowing but want to take a lesson, anybody who's able-bodied, you know, you go there, take lessons, qualify, belong, and you can go and take a boat out on our Watuppa Pond. How beautiful.
So if you're a good soccer player, you like to play in grass. So this is going to be the only one in the city. So if we're going to be able to handle tournaments, it's going to be here in this park. How are we going to handle kids running and kids playing over there and kids playing in here and professional people using? But and before I end, it's one more project that it's not done that we're gonna as soon as the city gets the park back, because the park now it's owned by them. As soon as they return the park back to the city, we had on the original on the L. Lamus project, we had Veterans Memorial on this park, and that's going to happen right up the hill here on Alden Street, that you can get access by Alden Street. We're going to put a memorial for our vets, because we lost, since 2001, we lost 5 kids on our neighborhood, and we want the names to be put in a place. Absolutely. So we can celebrate their lives, and when the day that it's all over the city, people celebrating, we want to be celebrating on our neighborhood. So up this hill, and you can get entry by Alden Street, you're going to see a veteran memorial with our soldiers' names on it. So
perfect compliment. Yes, perfect. Nice. So that's a little tour, and again, it wouldn't happen without people like Dave. And you know, Dave isn't just heading up this project for this company. He's a Fall River guy, so he feels it. I know it when we met today.
Harding is your last name?
No, I work for the company. My last name is Cavaco.
Cavaco?
Yes. My family's originally from Fall River. I grew up in Tiverton for 27 years, and then I came to Fall River.
So I mean, to see that pride, and so it's a wonderful thing to explore and to see what's possible here, and it's because of Carlos and Al and everyone.